it might be a bit rusty because you haven't been doing this for a while. To make a 1920 document, you can go web or mobile because that will give us digital. So if you go web, all you've got to do really is you can you can use one of the presets, but to make absolutely sure, I always type them in. Then I'll untick facing pages or tick it. You can do it afterwards anyway, so it makes no difference. You haven't seen for ages. So all we're kind of asking you to do is effectively bring some pictures in, or bring a film in, or bits and pieces, and lay it out. And I have lots of different ways of doing this. Some are very technical, and I'm going to show you a very basic way to make a grid. And take a box tool, and these are my margins. I don't want anything placed on the outside of this in this document. Box tool, I'm going to go from corner to corner, and then I'm simply going to draw some lines. I've got one in the middle, so I've divided that page up into two. Then I'm going to divide it up there, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to make my box half the size it was, and I'm going to draw some lines here. Move the box to the right, and you can see where this is going. I'm dividing that up there. What that gives me is opportunities to place stuff within this grid structure, or start placing it in the grid structure but smashing it to bits should I want to. So I'm going to draw a box to fill that space there. Okay, Command D, bring it in. Then I'm going to have to go to Object, Fit In, Fit Content Proportionately, and then go to this window here. And if you can't see it, it's Interactive Media, brings it up. You can find somewhere within this document that really interests you, so within the film, and then you can change that to from current, and then that there will start on that frame. It will appear on that frame when you play it. It will start from the beginning. Then what I can do is I can start bringing in some documents into these parts here. So I can go here, and I can keep making these. So what I can do here is place a picture that I've got from a music video of hers. Shrink it down a bit. I can reformat it later, bring another one in, like so. Bring something in down here. And I've got other bits of music videos that she's in. And then what I can do is I could then start to feed in the copy that I have, that I've put together. Change the font, bullet point it, proof it, take all of the widows out that are in there like this. I don't want hyphenations, I don't want I don't want bad type, I want paragraphs. I don't want hyphenations. As I say, there's a widow down here. So what I would do with a widow is knock a word up from above, keep knocking it down until there's 2 words on that line to prevent the widow. And then finally, I'd probably save that document. So KFC, save it to my desktop. What I have done is I've just rearranged my pictures into the grid, kept the grid system, but made them a little bit smaller so that they have borders around them, and all the borders are the same size and width to keep the grid system. The next thing I do is publish. So this button here, publish online, it brings up this general box here. The next phase is to give it a name, something that you can remember. Update existing document or publish new. If it's new, press publish. That may take a bit of time depending on how fast your internet is. Okay, so this is now uploaded, it's on the internet, it'd be like an internet page. If you're not familiar with this process, you press copy, then you can store that password that URL somewhere, and then when you come into uni and we ask you to show us your work, you haven't got to bring anything in apart from the URL. We cut and paste that into our browser and we can have a look. So the benefit of having your work published like this is that you can just bring your URL into university and we can look at it. It'll work with a video. We can blow that up and look at the text and read your work and ask you questions about it, or you can present it this way. It's a really nice way of doing it. And there's lots of ways you could have laid it out. This is very visual. So as a sort of recap, what we're asking you to do is to place examples of a campaign. In this case, the campaign was purely video. You might want to put in some other elements of a campaign, like billboards, posters, online, offline stuff. And what we're asking you to do is to deconstruct it and annotate how that impacted on the world. And on the right hand side here, you know, we've given you some clues and some prompts as to what we're looking for when you're deconstructing it. I've updated mine a little bit, so I've kind of highlighted and bolded up areas within the text when I'm talking about cause or collab. This is the information about this advert. Then there might be some data here to do with other things. I mean, this is just data that another designer's done. This doesn't relate to this. I've just shown examples of how you can lay out data. You could use pie charts, you could use other graphs. You don't have to go to that extent if you don't want to, but what we want you to do, talk about audience, consumer, impact, art direction, and mediums, and so on. So look forward to seeing you in September with this and starting a brand new year and module. Take care.